You see them all over social media. If you can't afford to tip, don't go out to eat. Servers remember who doesn't tip. Bad tippers are bad people. These grifters are everywhere. An army of people running the restaurant industry's propaganda for clicks, telling you the customer is the villain while ignoring who's actually stealing from restaurant workers. Welcome to Two-Punch Combo Motivation, where the talk is real, the nonsense is non-existent, and the discipline totally depends on you. Before anyone twists this into a manners debate, let's be clear about the enemy here. This isn't about tipping etiquette. It's about the tipped wage and the industry lobbying that keeps it frozen so employers don't have to pay workers. Today, we're calling out one of America's dirtiest labor scams, the one where restaurants convinced millions of people to fight their battles for them while paying workers $2.13 an hour, and somehow made customers feel morally obligated to subsidize payroll. That's one of the greatest lies ever sold. And let me be clear before someone runs this off the rails. I'm not saying don't tip. I'm saying the tip should not be the wage. A tip is gratitude. A wage is an obligation. The restaurant industry collapsed those on purpose. That's not how the rest of the world works. And it's not even how America used to work. Tipping in the United States has roots in slavery. Don't roll your eyes with the "here we go again" nonsense. I didn't make this up. Research from UC Berkeley's Food Labor Research Center shows that after the Civil War, the restaurant and railway industries hired newly freed black workers, mostly women in restaurants and men, as Pullman porters. Pullman porters worked on luxury trains, they carried luggage, shined shoes, handled passengers, and they were paid nothing. Not low wages, nothing. The deal was work for tips only. The restaurant industry told these workers you get $0 as long as customers tip. That went on for decades. Then in 1938, when the New Deal created a federal minimum wage, tipped workers were excluded. On purpose. Fast forward to 1991. The federal tipped minimum wage was set at $2.13 an hour. It's been frozen there ever since. 34 years. The regular minimum wage has gone up 5 times. The tipped wage hasn't moved once. Rent went up, gas went up, food prices exploded. But if you're a server in 15 states, your boss is still legally allowed to pay you the same $2.13 they paid someone in 1991. That's not inflation adjusted. That's the actual number. Restaurant owners love this system. Labor is their biggest expense, and they convince the government to let customers cover it. They raise menu prices every year and then tell servers, "Your wage hasn't changed since 1991. Figure it out." They pocket the difference and cry online about how hard it is to run a restaurant. You know what's hard? Working for $2.13 an hour. This scam has a name, the tip credit. Your employer is supposed to make sure you earn at least the federal minimum wage of $7.25. But if you get tips, they're allowed to count those tips toward your wage. So they pay $2.13, and if tips don't get you to $7.25, they're supposed to make up the difference. Here's the part they don't talk about. The Department of Labor investigated over 9,000 restaurants between 2010 and 2012. 84% violated wage and hour laws. 1,200 were caught specifically violating tip credit rules. The employer didn't make up the difference. They just didn't pay. That's not a few bad apples. That's the business model. Restaurant owners know most servers won't report violations because they need the job. They know the Department of Labor is understaffed, so they steal from people making $2 an hour. Then they complain online about entitled workers and labor shortages. They steal wages and have the nerve to call workers entitled. That sounds like satire. It isn't. Meanwhile, social media isn't calling out wage theft. This system survives by keeping customers and workers fighting each other while employers stay invisible. It's shaming customers for undertipping. Keyboard warriors calling you a bad person because the place you grabbed a burger from refuses to pay its staff a livable wage. That nonsense is one of the reasons I limit eating out myself. While rage bait floods feeds, look at how the rest of the world operates. Japan pays workers a livable wage. Tipping there isn't just uncommon, it's considered rude. Doing your job well is the baseline. That's what wages are for. Tip someone, and they may refuse it or chase you down because they think you forgot your change. Most of Europe ditched American-style tipping decades ago. France, Germany, Italy, Spain. The price on the menu includes service. Tips are small and occasional, not 25% every time. Australia and New Zealand don't run on tips. Servers make real wages. $15 to $25 an hour. Tips aren't expected because workers are already paid. Even where tipping exists, it isn't this system. In the UK, 10% is generous. In Canada, the tipped minimum wage is far higher than in the US. Only America convinced an entire workforce that $2.13 plus customer guilt is acceptable. 7 U.S. states banned the tipped minimum wage: Alaska, California, Minnesota, Montana, Nevada, Oregon, Washington. Servers there get the full state minimum wage before tips. Tips are extra. Those states didn't collapse. Restaurants didn't disappear. They survived paying people. In the other 43 states, restaurant owners run to Congress crying bankruptcy if they're asked to pay $8 an hour. The National Restaurant Association has spent decades lobbying to keep $2.13 frozen, and content creators help them by monetizing outrage. Meanwhile, those same owners open second locations, expand brands, drive luxury cars, and post about their entrepreneurial grind. But paying workers an actual wage is somehow impossible. Let's be clear. They don't want to pay. Wage theft is profitable. And before someone hides behind the small business shield, hear this. If a business only survives by paying poverty wages, the business model is broken. That's not a moral judgment. That's math. Every viral post shaming customers is free PR for exploitative labor practices. Those anti-customer posts? Stop sharing them. They don't help workers. They protect employers. If you're angry, aim it at the businesses paying $2.13 and the industry lobbying to keep it that way. Customers fight each other, while employers extract money from both sides. Those posts don't help servers. They help maintain a system where tipped workers are twice as likely to live in poverty, and most of them are women. If you want engagement, aim it at the people who deserve it. There was an anti-tipping movement in the early 1900s. One activist called tipping a cancer in the breast of democracy. 6 states banned it outright. The restaurant industry killed that movement. They wanted the right to avoid paying black workers after emancipation. They won. We're still living with the consequences. So when someone says bad tippers are bad people, what they're really doing is defending a wage theft scheme that's been operating since 1938. Servers know the system is broken, and I'm not talking from a distance here. I have adult children who work full-time as waitstaff. I see exactly how this system chews people up. They live it. But viral posts taught people to blame customers instead of employers. Your boss paying $2.13 an hour in 2025 is the problem, not the person who left 15% instead of 20%. If you actually want to help workers, talk about one fair wage campaigns. Talk about Restaurant Opportunities Centers United. Talk about states that eliminated the tipped minimum wage and what happened next. Or keep manufacturing outrage while the National Restaurant Association protects the right to pay poverty wages. Servers in California and Washington make over $16 an hour before tips. Those aren't fantasy lands. They're American states that decided workers deserve wages. The other 43 states could do the same thing. They choose not to. Stop making this about individual customers. This system is designed to pit workers and customers against each other while employers profit. Here are the facts. Tipping culture in America is rooted in refusing to pay black workers after slavery. The tipped minimum wage has been frozen since 1991. 84% of investigated restaurants broke wage laws. Social media outrage doesn't change that. If you're creating content about tipping, pick a side, expose the labor issue, or keep doing free PR for the people stealing wages while pretending you stand for workers. And restaurant owners are counting on you to keep the heat off them. Don't make it easy. Your call.